the Warriors got a massive win to take a 2-1 series lead, and they got some great, and I should honestly say amazing news after the big win over Houston. But before we get into all that and discuss what we know now, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We go live for every single Warrior playoff game. We have had a great time through 3 games in this series so far, but I want you to be a part of it. If you're a diehard Warriors fan, you're going to love what we got going on here at the channel. We upload daily videos, but we also live stream every single game. So go down below and hit that big red sub button right now and turn your notifications on as well. What's going on, Dub Nation? You're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tyler Smith, and I'm not going to lie to you. I was not the most optimistic about Game 3 after hearing that Jimmy Butler would not be suiting up for the Warriors. But 30 ends up just making things easy and making life better once again because he absolutely took over in Game 3. Before we get into the great news about Jimmy Butler that we heard after the game, I really have to talk about the performance that Steph Curry had last night. I mean, 36, 7, and 9 when he is getting more defensive attention on him in this game than any other time that Jimmy Butler has shared the floor with him in his Warriors tenure so far. I mean, I cannot believe he was guarded very, very tightly to start this game, and I'm not gonna lie, he wasn't able to get into a rhythm early. But once the second quarter hit, he kind of started getting into a groove, and then second half of this ball game, he completely took over. Third quarter, fourth quarter, he was making shot after shot. He was being hacked off the ball. I mean, there was a three that he took at the top of the key that he got clotheslined on, and they continue to not give this guy a whistle. It is mind-boggling to me, but we have to just roll with the punches with Steph. You know what? He continues to dazzle, make 5 threes last night, dime up the Houston Rockets defense for 9 assists. Like, he makes everybody's life easier, and at the same time, carries this Golden State team to where it needs to be. Steph said this about how he's been guarded this series. He said, it is physically taxing because you're handling the pressure off of the ball. You're trying to read where the big is, trying to, when certain driving gaps might be, or where the pass is. So you've got to be locked in mentally, physically, and emotionally. Be patient, knowing if it doesn't happen, it's a 48-minute game. And I do pride myself on endurance and being able to finish as strong as you might start and feel as good in the fourth quarter as I do in the first quarter. And that was evident last night. I mean, he's consistently bullied off of the ball, running around the perimeter, trying to find an open spot in the defense. And, he finally got into a groove, and he really felt like he was as spry in the fourth as he was in the first quarter. Like, it didn't seem like he was tired at all, and he played a ton of minutes in this game. Played more than 40 minutes for the first time in regulation since 2023, since the 2023 playoffs against the Lakers. Steph has not played 40-plus minutes in a regulation basketball game, but he knew he had to this time out against Houston. He knew that with Jimmy out, the Warriors would be cooked. This roster cannot create enough for itself offensively to where Steph can, just go for, say, 22 to 25 points in that game. No, he had to ball out. He had to have 36 and 9 assists, being accounted for like 50 points in the ball game. And Curry's teammates, they're thankful. They should be. Like, Curry gets a lot of these guys paid at the end of the day. Like a guy like Kevon Looney, a guy like Buddy Hield. Like, these guys are getting contracts late in their careers because of how easy life is made for them because of number 30. And you know what? They voiced how much they are in awe of Steph after the game last night because, man, I just can't get over the fact that they would not be able to do this without every single ounce of what Steph has put into this game and every single ounce of production that he had in Game 3. Buddy Hield said this on Steph. He said, I tell him that there's a galaxy out there that he's from that nobody can touch. And he's right. Like, I've never seen a player be guarded in the way that Steph is. Off the ball, on the ball, sending doubles, triples, quadruple teams, and he's still able to affect the game in a positive way. And he's still able to score the basketball in bunches. Like, the way that he's able to scoop layup over a big when he's got 2 other defenders on his back as well, it is alien-like, and Hield knows that very well. Looney said this. He said he hit some shots today, and I'm like, this MF is still going? Ain't nothing changed. He's been doing this my whole career. And Kevon Looney should probably have to give a good 10% of his NBA career earnings to Steph with the way that he's gotten him paid over the years. Just setting him screens, getting him open, and being an available roll man. Like, that's kind of what everybody on Golden State's roster has to do. Set screens, hit Steph when he's open, and be an effective pick and roll man, finish at the rim. Like, Looney's made a living off of that through 9 years of his NBA career now, and a lot of it's thanks to 30. Draymond said we all follow him. We all follow Steph. Everything. He is the sun of the Warriors' solar system at the end of the day. Everybody follows what he does. The offense is tailored around him, and they end up, winning games because people buy in to Steph. People want to play with Steph. People want Steph to make their lives easier, so they all follow him and his lead, and they get wins and championships at the end of the day because of it. Jimmy Butler threw this on Instagram after the game as well. I know Warriors fans were loving this, and Steph didn't even know about it, funny enough. Jimmy throwing the Curry logo in the Batman call sign, the bat signal, the Curry signal. It was a true solo Batman performance last night. Obviously, we'll talk about Buddy Hield a little bit. He had to go out there and beat Alfred, but Robin wasn't there. And Steph commented on this post saying elite. He didn't know about it. He said he could take it for what you will, but all I know is I have to produce at a high level. I have to play at a high level if we want to win basketball games. Jimmy is the most appreciative teammate of Steph's as far as being a superstar that I have ever seen. And we're going to talk more about Jimmy Butler in just a moment. We have a major Jimmy Butler injury update after he suffered that deep muscle glute contusion in Game 2. And then we're going to react more to Game 3 about a couple other performances that we saw from the Dubs. But first, I want to give a major shout out to our proud sponsor, and that's Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports platform because it's daily fantasy made easy. If you want to watch your favorite sports and win real money in real time, download the Prize Picks app today because you can win up to 2,000 times your money. Yeah, like turning $20 into $4,000. And it's so easy to play because all you guys got to do is pick a lineup of 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on their projected stats, whether it's basketball, baseball, hockey, bowling, darts, esports, golf. They have it all. Combine those sports in a lineup if you'd like. And PrizePicks always wants to make it easier for you guys to win real money watching your favorite sports because they offer promos like Taco Tuesday, where they discount stat projections, Flex Friday, where if you lose your lineup, you'll get it back in promo funds up to $20. And our deal that we're giving you here at Chat Sports, code CLNS, the promo code. Use that when you sign up, and then you place your first $5 entry, and you get a free $50. You don't have to win that entry to receive the 50. It's guaranteed. My lineup for tonight's basketball action, I had, seeing the Laker game, seeing the Timberwolves game, and, seeing the Celtics and Magic game, I decided to go with, a lineup that, it wasn't necessarily great last night, but I'm looking to win tonight. Last night I had Draymond, 11.5 rebounds plus assist, Pods, 14 points, and Sengun, 19.5 points. So you can tail my picks or you can fade them. Just make sure you go and do it at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the promo code CLNS for $50 instantly when you place your first $5 entry. Like I said, you don't have to win to receive that 50. It's guaranteed free money. Prize Picks. Run your game. All that information will be clickable down in the comments section and description of today's video. Support the show. Support the sponsor. Be a real one. Alrighty. We got to get into this Jimmy Butler injury update. Anthony Slater said this after Warriors win Game 3. He said Jimmy Butler worked out on the practice court pregame. Now, medical team said that he couldn't go, and it was probably best to just sit him in this one. And Warriors got to win, despite Jimmy Butler not being in the game. So thank the Lord there. But there's a belief that he will be back for Game 4 on Monday night with the Warriors searching to take a 3-1 series lead. This is awesome news for Warriors fans. Steph can't do, yes, he's averaging 29, 7 and 8 in the series, but Steph can't do what he did in Game 3 for, what are the Warriors got to win 2 more games? God forbid, the Rockets win another one of these things and Jimmy Butler's out. Steph's got to do that for 3 more games just for the Warriors to even feel comfortable with the possibility of winning? No, they need Jimmy Butler out there with his offensive engine and his connectivity on that end. And honestly, his free safety kind of nature communicating on defense as well with Draymond there on the back line. Steve Kerr said this about Jimmy's injury at this point. He said he's literally day-to-day. So, we have tomorrow off. It will be helpful to have him another day, or to have another day in between, and then it's a night game. So he gets a few extra hours. So we'll see. I have no idea right now if he's going to play. But Slater did say that there was a belief amongst the Warriors brass and front office and coaching staff that he was going to play. Golden State, at one point in this game, had 0 offensive rating. Had a 0 offensive rating. This is in the first half, albeit, because Steph, he sat a little bit in the second half. He actually sat in the fourth quarter. It was kind of crazy. Saw some big people step up in those moments. But Golden State at one point had a 0 offensive rating with Steph on the floor, off the floor. They didn't score at all for like a 6-minute stretch where Steph was on the floor, off the floor. They did not score. So they desperately, desperately need Jimmy out there on the court with them. Just for the sole fact of those few minutes of the game where Steph's not out there. Like, he played 42 minutes last night. He needs to be out there for a long time, but you can't play 42 minutes every game. Jimmy's got to be out there as well. And Steve Kerr talked about Jimmy's advice and his role that he played while he was sidelined last night. He said Jimmy is so smart. He reminds me so much of Andre Iguodala. Incredible basketball IQ, and then the ability to communicate what he's seeing to his teammates on the bench. I thought Jimmy was important for us tonight in that regard. He was talking to guys throughout the game and giving them advice, giving some help, and that was big. It was big. But I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think everybody can speak for this and say we like his advice better when he's on the court. We like him communicating here and there. Yeah, he was giving Buddy some advice yesterday. He was honestly probably just busting Buddy's chops for the most part after he turned the ball over to Steven Adams, kicked the ball out of bounds. But Buddy had a big night. Again, we'll talk about that soon. But we need Jimmy Butler out there on the floor, and hopefully he can get out there for Game 4. It seems like it's trending in that direction. But it's not confirmed yet, so you got to manifest it for me on this video right now. If you want Jimmy Butler to be out there back on the court for your Golden State Warriors in Game 4, go down below and hit that thumbs up icon, like today's video, so we send the good vibes to Jimmy and hope he heals up real quick soon. All right, let's talk about Warriors-Rockets, because I'm not going to lie. I'm not so sure how Golden State, won this game with them shooting 31% from 3 and, losing the rebound battle once again. They did turn the Rockets over more than Golden State did. Only 10 turnovers for Golden State, the absolute key, and specifically live ball turnovers. We know that's killed Golden State with the Rockets' ability to get out on the fast break, and they were getting those opportunities early on in the game. Golden State cleaned things up in, the second quarter and beyond, and they were able to kind of just keep arm's distance away from the Rockets, and then when Steph's time was Steph's time, he took over. And then when guys, were on the floor and the defense was gravitating towards Steph, a guy like Gary Payton was able to be a massive beneficiary. And, I mean, what an efficient night from GP2, man. Not only was he playing excellent on-ball defense on Houston's guards, Jalen Green had a really lackluster game compared to what he did in Game 2, and GP2 stepped up to the plate, man. 16 points in this one. Hit 2 out of his 3 triples, and they all felt big. Like, every Golden State bucket in this game felt huge because, let's be honest, we're not accustomed to seeing GP2 consistently put in 16 points. We're not accustomed to Buddy Hield putting up 17. Hitting 5 threes in a big-time situation. Like, these guys have been, great role players for Golden State, but they stepped up as second and third scorers last night for the Dubs, down the stretch specifically, and that was absolutely massive. And I speak about Buddy. He had a fantastic game. I know I've ragged on Buddy. I know Golden State fans rag on Buddy. We don't want to see him out there. He can't be playing 25, 30 minutes. Listen, he needed to last night, and he took full advantage of the opportunity. Hit 5 triples. Now, Jimmy has said, I think he said thanks team and Batman, everybody except Buddy. So, like, obviously, Jimmy, Steph, Buddy, they have a great relationship, but at the same time, Buddy does frustrate them from time to time. He turns the ball over, especially when he puts the ball on the deck. Jimmy has said, last week that he hates when Buddy dribbles. Yeah, I hate when Buddy dribbles, but you know what? He took advantage of his opportunities yesterday, hit 5 triples, and he was awesome. Golden State needed every bucket from the Bahamian. Brandon Podziemski, he was up and down for the most game. He was not efficient, specifically from 3-point range. But just having him out there again after he missed the most of Game 2 was huge for Golden State. Just another ball handler, a guy who can hit jump shots, a guy who defenses have to respect a little bit more than maybe some other players on the back end of Golden State's roster. So it was great to have him out there. He was taking care of the basketball, crashing the glass, doing all the things that he needs to do to help Golden State win. Draymond, he was cool. He was all right. Definitely impacted the glass a lot more in this game. He was defensively awesome on a guy like Şengün. Şengün with his worst game of the series in Game 3. And you know what? Draymond did his job. Just couldn't hit a 3. He was solid for the most part. And just he provides things that not a lot of players in this league can provide defensively and offensively with his chemistry with Steph. So he continues to do what he needs to do. Just want to see, the numbers a little bit better, specifically, shooting the basketball. Taking 4 threes. Draymond, once he missed 3, we don't need the 4th one going up. Quinn Post, now, This is maybe the most ridiculous Quinn postgame of all time because we know he has the green light in Golden State's offense, but he was terrible offensively last night. But what he did against Steven Adams, Alperen Sengun, the Twin Towers down there for Houston, he got the start last night with Jimmy out. So did Jonathan Kuminga. We'll talk about him in a moment. But 12 boards for Quinn Post? Yeah, clap it up for QP. That was awesome. And I hope that he continues to impose his will physically on this series and uses this as a kind of a stepping stone in his career to kind of take that next step as a big imposing presence, not only on the perimeter, but also down low. Moses Moody, he was not in the starting lineup for the first time in a while last night as Steve Kerr decided to go elsewhere. And, maybe did that kill his confidence? I don't know. Probably not. But he was still good defensively, hit a couple of shots. Moses Moody has been a player who's gotten out on the fast break for Golden State a ton lately, and that's due to him, creating live ball turnovers, poking the ball away from some of the Houston guards. He has been a pest defensively, and I've loved what I've seen from him. Can't wait to see more, and he'll probably be back in the starting lineup once Jimmy gets back out there. And then finally, we got to talk about Jonathan Kuminga. He's not good. He's just not that good of a ball player. The defensive IQ, the effort, you could tell that he kind of got into a little bit more of a groove last night. Like, he kind of tried to buy in a little bit more, but there were still lapses that I just was not a fan of. And, he misses an assignment defensively. He's late to a closeout. He isn't crashing the glass super effectively. One rebound. I can't have that out of a player that, needs to play big and needs to be a guy who just plays within his role and within the flow of the offense. He had a possession where he went ISO last night, and he had the entire baseline, the entire right side of the floor. Kuminga has zero spatial awareness. He dribbles right into a double team, right into the help defense, puts up a shot, it gets deflected, and he's screaming, crying for a foul. Use your brain. Go right. Go to the baseline. Get downhill, put your shoulder into Sengun, and go to the rim. He just doesn't seem to have that in year 4, and I'm just very skeptical about his role moving forward with Golden State. But overall, a great game, man. Golden State gets a win without Jimmy in the lineup, and Steph dazzled. And we got a good positive update on Jimmy Butler's injury. Hopefully, he'll be back for Game 4. And make sure you're with us for Game 4 right here on the channel, as we will be live doing play-by-play, scoreboard, highlights, stats, analysis, all that good stuff. So lock us in, hit that big red sub button. We'll see you guys all in the next one. And as always, let's go Dubs.